Thank you, Megan. All right, so now our final flash talk is going to be Dr. Novien Yarber, who's going to share his research on critical perspectives on fundraising, the implications of social identity on practice. Dr. Novien Yarber.
In a flippant yet honest gesture, he scanned the details of his own body as if it were like suddenly foreign to him. Embracing his right arm and his left hand, he tugged at his own flesh. He tugged at it and looked at me and said, well, I can't take it off. How I show up and present is probably influenced by, how I want to be perceived in this world. Knowing that there are people out there who just look at me and make assumptions based off my gender or my race or possibly my sexuality. The dirty truth is that we have to make prospects comfortable with us, to trust us, especially when we're talking about high dollar ask. I said in an almost doleful resonance. I didn't want to resonate with that. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Novien Yarber. I am the Director of Leadership, Philanthropy, and Social Impact at the Nonprofit Institute. And back in fall 2021, I set out on this journey to explore the phenomena that was alive in this conversation with my colleague, which led me to this. We're going to talk about the implications of social identity in this trust-based paradigm in philanthropy, and more specifically, the complexities of fundraising as experienced by Black fundraisers. Let's start with contextualizing this traditional paradigm of philanthropy that we're inheriting, right? This westernized philanthropy. It is characterized in our research as the business of yes. What does that mean? The business of yes is a descriptor of the fundraising practice that implies perpetual adapting and negotiating of self in the social exchange that is the trust-based relationship. Again, adapting and negotiating of self in relationship to the other. I'm going to share a bit of the anecdotes from our co-researchers of this project, and I call them co-researchers because they are not participants of the study. They are this study, and this is theirs. And so some of the anecdotes from this is that there's a lot at stake, right, in this business of yes. Sometimes it can be performative. I can turn on a show. I do what I need to do to get the job done. And that yes is a stamp of approval from that donor saying, I want to validate your efforts. You've done enough for me to buy into whatever you're selling. It's a two-way street. It's not just about the staff person of an institution going out to the donor prospects. It's about the two individuals connecting in some way. So when we contextualize our philanthropy here, what does that mean around our fundraising? Which landed us to this idea of being a chameleon, chameleonism, right? What does a chameleon do? It adapts, it camouflages to its surroundings as not to draw unwarranted attention, right? I can adapt to make sure I get the job done, right? This won't be a distraction. There are three main expressions of chameleonism that emerged from this study: physical presentation, positioning and orientation, and the manner in which we are being heard and unheard. First, physical presentation, dressing the part, expectations of womanhood, right? So again, as we've inherited this normative philanthropy, it can often be associated with conservative culture, right? So what does it mean to come in buttoned up, put together, especially positioned in a cultural context? What does that mean? Expectations of Black womanhood, a woman being made up, is definitely a thing in fundraising. Put some red lips on. Put a skirt on, but not too short. Put some high heels on, but not too high, right? It is a thing, right, to appeal to that next party, adaptation. Am I dressed appropriately or properly? Is my skirt appropriate length? Are the hems on my pants perfect? Are my heels high enough? Are they too high? Am I doing too much? Should I tone it down? Am I doing enough? Should I spruce it up a bit? These were all anecdotes around how we're fixated around how we show up in a space in our trust-based relationships. Positioning and orientation. Sometimes I'm not the right person to talk to the donor, but let me introduce you to my colleague. Either you, the donor, are so old school to the point where you need to talk to a man while talking about finances, or even less heartening, you're not used to talking to a black person about these matters. My job is to fundraise, though, for the cause, right? And if I'm hindering, if my being hinders that progress, I have to take a step back. That doesn't mean that I won't get credit for my work. That just means I can't be the face. And lastly, which I thought was really beautiful, is positioning self on the front line, being front-facing. So if this is a distraction, let me go and write some killer proposals for you so you can see how brilliant it is, yeah? The manner in which we are heard and unheard. I can't afford not to be diplomatic in this space, right? Especially as a black man. You're incredibly articulate. You're so eloquent. Thank you. I'm gonna avoid political conversations altogether as to not ruffle any feathers, because this isn't about me. This is about the cause I'm fundraising for. But where's the area for learning here? It's the brand management piece of this work. As right as it may be to defend oneself and one's positionality, call in the opportunity for learning, this is the wrong conversation. So I say all this, and I want to close. This research was far more expansive and complex than what I was able to show in 5 minutes. But I want to leave us with this, and this is a call to action. Creating an equitable ecosystem is not just about protesting on the front line. This, too, is our work. We must stand in, stand up, and showing out. Thank you all.